Hello beautiful people, I thought it was time to do an updated video of my favourite easy reach super hot weather perfumes, because we've just had a heat wave in the UK and in London it was super hot. The flat that I live in gets very hot, so I don't like to wear really strong perfumes at that time of year. And I just like things that are easy going and aren't going to stress me out too much, nothing too challenging. So I've made videos like this before ages ago, but what I've got now is I've got a choice of 20 perfumes that I really find it easy to reach for. This is like my curated version of those old high heat perfume videos I did. So let's start with one that's quite new to me. This one is an absolute cheapie. This was one that I like wearing to bed, but just generally at this time of year I'd happily wear it during the day because I find it really soothing. So this is Yardley London, and this is their English Lavender, the contemporary edition. So as far as I can tell, the old version and the new version have pretty much exactly the same notes. But I think maybe this one smells slightly different. I don't know. I've never had the original English Lavender from them. This one has clary sage and bergamot in the top, middle notes of lavender, violet, chamomile, eucalyptus, geranium and jasmine in the mid, and then the base is woodsy notes, patchouli and vanilla. So I think this one, it really to me smells a bit like a chamomile tea with a lot of lavender. That's kind of the vibe I get from it. I find it super soothing. Now it definitely has a little bit of a urinal smell from that chamomile when you first spray it, but that does go away. That doesn't last. It dries down, it starts to feel a bit more musky, it's got a sweetness to it. It's really fresh, really clean, very soothing. So that is the first one. I think it's a really good cheapie. It's Yardley English Lavender. Beautiful this time of year. Next up, this is just such a good perfume all year. I wear this one all year. To be fair, the Yardley one, that lives next to my bed, so I'd wear that happily. But if I was going to go, for instance, for a job interview in a really hot time of year, this is what I would wear. This is Still by Jennifer Lopez. Beautiful bottle, beautiful perfume. One of the best affordable celebrity perfumes. I wonder if this actually is the best celebrity perfume. I think maybe I'd personally say some of the Sarah Jessica Parkers might be the best, but this is very much up there on my list of the best celebrity perfumes. It's also one of my absolute favourite tea perfumes. I think this might be my husband's favourite perfume in my entire collection. This to me smells like green apples and jasmine tea. Now I love jasmine tea, I find it really soothing, but I love how that smells, and that's what I get from here, despite it being Earl Grey tea in this rather than green tea. So this is Earl Grey tea, white pepper, mandarin orange, apple and rice. It's jasmine, lily of the valley freesia, honeysuckle, orange blossom and rose in the mid. And then the base is pepper, musk, sandalwood, iris and amber. And it's so fresh, so clean. Oof. Honestly, it's just perfect. It's such a chic and classy perfume. It's beautiful, gorgeous. It's never overwhelming. It's one that I often wear to work when I have big meetings or if I'm going to conferences, when I'm interviewing, that kind of thing. Still is what I will wear because it's noticeable. It's very clean and fresh. It's not going to bother anyone. And it lasts all day, but it's not really heavy. It's very transparent. It's just beautiful. So that is Still by Jennifer Lopez, one of my absolute top tips for any kind of warm or hot weather. Even works in like extremely hot weather. It's fantastic. So next up we have one that is basically my version of Wood Sage and Sea Salt by Jo Malone. So this perfume is called Pure Grace Summer Moments. And this one, I've got this quite recently and it genuinely smells very similar to wood sage and sea salt. It's got that kind of lovely, despite what you might see on this, which looks like a kind of sunny beach, this smells more like a pebble beach in the UK, or at least a cooler beach. It's got that woody, salty, cold ocean smell to it. But the notes they give you in this, interestingly, are iced lemon, sage, green notes, fig and dewdrop. But I definitely get a salty sea accord in here as well. And weirdly, there's something about the texture that gives me a almost slightly coconut water feel, as if you have all of this going on, but then there's also coconut water in there. It's really, really pretty. It's really very unisex. But this one, I think this would be a little bit too sharp and salty in colder weather, sorry. In warmer weather, it's just really nice. It gets a bit musky. It's weird that they don't list musk. There's definitely musk in here. Yeah, really good, affordable alternative to wood, sage and sea salt. And this one actually lasts pretty well on my skin, although it's not got a huge scent bubble. So yeah, this is Pure Grace Summer Moments by Philosophy. I don't think it's sold anymore via Philosophy, but you can get this so easy on the internet if you just Google it. So you can really wear nearly any of the Aqua Colonia collection at this time of year. This is, I mean, I feel like they're designed for hot weather. But this one is particularly good. It's when it shines is in really hot weather. So this is 4711 Aqua Colonia Coconut Water and Yuzu. Beautiful bottles. I love these bottles. I collect these. I have a whole video just about my Aqua Colonias if you're interested. I also have a couple of new ones on their way, which I'm very excited about. But coconut water and yuzu smells exactly as you'd imagine. Those are the only notes it gives you. But this one, if you spray this in colder weather, it smells a bit sharp. It's almost got a slightly pineapple-y feel about it, but kind of a sharp pineapple and a sharp citrus. But in hotter weather, when you wear this, you will get that crisp, sharp, citrusy smell from the yuzu. And like I said, almost like a hint of pineapple or something. But you will then also get the coconut water, and in the hot weather, it dries down, gets a bit sweeter, as if there's just a dash of coconut cream in there as well. It's so pretty. And I will also shout out that there's a new Elizabeth Arden green tea called Coconut Breeze, and that almost smells like a sort of less herbaceous version of green tea plus this perfume. That's kind of what that smells like. So if you struggle to get hold of oh my goodness, if you struggle to get hold of this one, then I think you could quite easily just try the Coconut Breeze from Elizabeth Arden green tea. It's not got quite as much sweetness as when this dries down, but it's definitely in that same kind of realm. So yeah, that's 4711 Aqua Colonia Coconut Water and Yuzu, an absolute cracker for hot weather. Oh, this little beauty, I like this all year round when I'm feeling a bit ill, or if I'm just around the house and I don't want anything too strong. Oh, it's really lovely. It goes through two phases, this one. This is Clarins Treatment Fragrance Eau Ressorcante. Ressourcant. I'm not really sure how to say that, I'm afraid. But anyway, I still call it the Blue Clarins. This is one that people say doesn't last, but this actually lasts on me for a really long time. My husband really likes this one. Whenever I wear it, he always tells me I smell nice. And this is one that my aunt wears. She worked, maybe still does. No, she's retired. She worked in a elderly people's home doing so she was sort of a care worker, and this is what she wears generally. So she always smells fresh and clean, because this is almost a bit of a fresh clean laundry scent, but it's quite floral. So this gives you, it lists basil and lemon in the top, iris in the mid, cedar and benzoin in the base. I always get a slightly violety smell from this, but it's very soft. It's almost got, and not in a sweet way, but it's almost got a fluffiness from that iris, like a powdery fluffiness. You get the basil and the lemon when you first put this on, and it is crazy, like sharp green, wakes you right up. It's like woof. And then as it dries down, it gets softer, more floral, and it gets a bit warmer. And then it just turns into this spectacular skin scent. It is so beautiful. So this is one that I can wear any time of year, but I just think it's really good in high heat because it's not overwhelming. I've just got a splash bottle, but you can also get this bigger in sprays. They are often having sales on this, so sometimes I think it's normally about £40 for a 50ml, but sometimes you can get it for 20 something. But yeah, I mean, I think this is a really good bet. So that's Eau Resocant from Clarins, said in completely the wrong way, I imagine. Next up, if I'm fancying something a little bit sweeter, but I still need something quite light, I would probably go for this one. This is Cherry Blossom by Monothem. So I've had a few Monothem perfumes and I don't always get on with them, to be honest. They have a very specific house DNA that doesn't work for me in some of their other perfumes. But this one, although it's called Cherry Blossom, there is a lot of actual cherry in this. So it basically has this fruity, girly, summery feel to it. It's really fun. It's got cherry in the top notes, cherry blossom in the mid, and then the base notes are musk and woodsy notes. It's definitely got some kind of sweetness going on here, though, that I would suggest is like some kind of musky vanilla scent. Fabulous sprayer on this. Yeah, it's almost got an edible kind of cherry syrup smell in here, backed up by that cherry blossom, but I think cherry is stronger than the cherry blossom, and I love a bit of cherry, so I'm very happy to have something that actually continues that kind of cherry smell but in really hot weather, because most of my cherry perfumes are a bit much for hot weather. The other thing that I do quite like but I think is a bit harder to wear is I love the L'Occitane cherry blossoms. All of that range, whenever they bring out new ones, they tend to smell really nice, but because they're so soapy, almost shampooy, I think this is like an easier and more flirty, girly way to wear a cherry blossom when it's really hot. And also they're Monothem, so they're not very strong. Their eau de toilettes are quite light. So that's Cherry Blossom from Monothem Venezia. Okay, next up is just, I mean, this is an all year banger for any time of year that you want something fresh, clean. If you want to smell like you've just come out of the shower, let's have a sniff. It's fabulous, truly fabulous. This is Jean Arthur's Boom Savon. So Boom Savon is, I mean, it means literally, savon means soap, right? So this is supposed to smell, I'd say this is Jean Arthur's take on like a bubble bath smell, but I find this a little bit fruity. It's very clean. It's very fresh. What does it actually note? It's interesting. It doesn't list any fruits, but I'd say this definitely has some kind of citrus and maybe something like a pear. It's got that kind of feel to it. So this is floral notes and almond in the top, water lily and lily of the valley in the mid, base notes musk and jasmine. I don't know if the almonds may be sweetening this up or giving it a little bit of that soapy feel. Obviously water lily often is very shampooey, so I'm very much getting that vibe from it, but this isn't like hardcore harsh shampoo to me. It does smell more like a bubble bath, but it's really crisp, it's really clean, it's aquatic and pretty. And yeah, I think this is a really good one if you're looking for just a really good soapy, clean, out of the shower freshie. So that is Jean Arthur's Boom Savon. So here we've got one that's a little bit pricier, but you can often get this in the half price sale via Miller Harris. I actually got this little 15ml bottle from TK Maxx, so it's good to keep your eye out. So this is Miller Harris Lost in the City. This is a very, well, I mean, I'd say it's a dry rose, tea and rhubarb perfume. So it's just this tiny wee baby, as you can see. And the notes here are blackcurrant, bergamot and angelica. The mid notes are rhubarb, geranium and rose. The base notes are Earl Grey tea, musk and amber. So I find this one too sharp throughout the year generally. I only get the urge to wear this in hot weather because that is when it sweetens up a little bit. The fruit is a little bit stronger than the angelica and the bergamot. And I mean, it's a very, very dry rose here. And obviously Earl Grey tea and tea can be quite a dry thing as well. It can be quite a dry texture. But obviously it's also got a slightly aquatic feel to it because of that tea. So this is quite sheer, But that rhubarb is so strong on my skin, and it's a very natural smelling rhubarb. So I definitely get the geranium and rose. I definitely get the Earl Grey tea. In the top, when you first spray it, you're going to get that bergamot and angelica, but there's definitely a hint of blackcurrant as well. And so this one, yeah, I think this is my dry rose of choice, you know, for like hot weather. I think it's really pretty, but yeah, this is a very rhubarb forward perfume. So if you don't like rhubarb, then I would say maybe this wouldn't be for you. But I do think this is a very good, crisp, totally unisex scent for hot weather. This is truly a beauty. I believe it's been discontinued, but in the UK you can definitely still find this one. Again, just Google it. It's quite easy to find this. This is Jill Sander Sport Water for Women, and it is a aquatic, sweet beauty. Now, it's not like sickeningly sweet, it's just not very sharp. It's like that perfect balance. Interestingly, this one, to me, smells like a sporty version of Le Création de Monsieur Dior Forever and Ever Dior. Now, that's one of my favourite perfumes. It was my wedding perfumes. It's a beautiful rose, jasmine, freesia. It's just ethereal. If you take something like that, you make it a little bit more aquatic feeling, slightly less floral, a little bit more fruity, and add like a big dose of wood into there, then you've got sport water. It really genuinely is reminiscent. They really remind me of each other. So this one is yuzu, peach and green leaves in the top, tea, jasmine and rose in the mid, and then the base is ambrette, woody notes and amber. So the tea is what gives this a kind of aquatic feel, along with what is a very watery and juicy sweet peach. So it's not cloying. I really struggle with peach, but this is beautiful. The ambrette is magical in the base of this. It's just such a good, like, I mean, people would call it a gym scent. It's that kind of feel, but it's not too masculine. I definitely think you could describe this as unisex. I see no reason why this is like super feminine at all. It's a little bit more feminine than things like light blue, for instance. But then I think that one smells quite masculine myself, but this is a beautiful, beautiful perfume. So this is Jill Sander Sport Water for Women. So this is another one, spraying it out for if I'm in a sweet mood. This would be, I think this is the sweetest on the list by quite a long way. But it's the body spray version. So this is God is a Woman by Ariana Grande, and this is the body mist. Now, I did have the perfume, but the perfume has that kind of tar-like synthetic woody smell in it that I just can't get along with. That's in a lot of Ariana Grande perfumes. The body mist doesn't have that, so that's why I went for the body mist. But to be entirely honest, I don't think that the perfume and the body mist is massively different in terms of their strength or longevity. But for me, this is just a gorgeous pear, ambrette and rose perfume. I think it's kind of quite delicate. It's very sweet, but it's sweet rather than having like a vanilla sweetness. It's got a gorgeous pear sweetness. It's got a very gentle and delicate pink rose kind of scent, and the ambrette's just fluffy, just a beautiful fluffy musky smell in the base. So the full set of notes are pear and muskmallow, and then the orris and Turkish rose in the mid, and then vanilla and sandalwood in the base. But like I said, the muskmallow feels like it comes out in the base. I don't get loads of vanilla here at all. Like, I don't find it, even in this hot weather, it doesn't smell very vanillic to me. It's just got it's more of a sugary sweetness I get with this from that beautiful pear. So this is really easy to wear, lasts for quite a while on my clothes, not so long on my skin, but it's so fun to respray it. And of course, when it's really hot, it's nice to wear body mists and respray them. They're just beautiful. So this is God is a Woman by Ariana Grande, the body mist. It's just a banger. I wear it all year, to be honest. Oh, so pretty. I love that pear. Next up, we have this. I've had this in my collection for so long that it started off being quite a bright yellow colour, and now it's bleached itself because there's so much citrus in it. I'm just going to spray this out real quick. Woo! Yeah, that's fresh. So this is Sun from Lush. This is as you can see, this is an eau de cologne, so it's a very light perfume. You can see mine's technically gone off, but it still smells just as good as it used to. But yeah, you can see this used to be a much brighter colour. It's really kind of faded, even though it's kept in a drawer. So this is a yummy, scrummy, bright and cheerful orange perfume, orange and mimosa specifically. But the full set of notes are orange, tangerine, sandalwood and mimosa. And I mean, that's what it smells like. I think it does definitely smell like orange, but I think it smells even more like tangerine. And the mimosa just gives it a slight powdery quality. The sandalwood just means it smells a little bit less like literal orange juice, but it is probably the closest thing I've smelt to literal orange juice. It's super pretty, it's really light, it's easy, perfect for incredibly hot weather. Like, it would be such a fun holiday perfume because it's such a happy smell. This is one that, I mean, I did actually buy this new, so I've used as much as you can see. The denting is in here. It's one that I quite like spraying on clothes as well. So sometimes I just would spray this on clothes to make them smell bright and cheerful, as well as my skin. So yeah, it's been used for all different things, but I absolutely love Sun. I think it's lovely. I sometimes forget that I've got it, but it's because I've had it for so long. But it's such a good, joyous perfume. So that is Lush Sun Eau de Cologne. Oh, this, I think, smells like wet laundry fresh out of the washing machine. It's so refreshing. Another thing that you could describe as a gym scent. This is Sarah Jessica Parker, and this is Born Lovely. So this normally has a little pink bow around, but I took it off because I don't really like bows. I'm not really a bow person. Just trying to see if you can actually see. There you go, if I put it there. I love the grey glass on this bottle. I think it's beautiful. I really like the Lovely bottles, actually. I'm not keen on the original Lovely, but I do really like the bottle. I love that kind of brown glass. This has a beautiful grey glass, as you can see. So this is it's essentially a aquatic, peony and blackcurrant perfume. That's kind of how I think about this one. It's definitely got some other florals going on. It's got a sweetness, but it's got a very watery freshness as well. So this is peony, cassis and mandarin orange in the top, freesia, orange blossom and honeysuckle in the mid. Base notes are cedar, patchouli and caramel. I think the orange blossom is probably what's making this smell a little bit laundry-like, because obviously I don't know if everyone agrees, but I find orange blossom super soapy. And freesia sometimes I think makes things smell a bit like a bar soap as well. But the honeysuckle, I think, is sweetening. The caramel is definitely sweetening things up, right? But it doesn't smell like caramel. You would never smell this and go, oh, there's caramel in that. It just stops it from going sharp. And for me, peony is nearly always an incredibly sharp note in perfumes. I find it very head-splitting most of the time. So everyone else thinks it's a really gentle, pretty sweet pink floral. But whenever there's peony in a perfume, it often becomes overwhelmingly sharp to me. But the cassis gives this like a watery blackcurrant scent, and there's like a bit, I guess there's like a slight mandarin orange, almost peel smell, but it's not bitter. It's just, there's a slight woodiness. I don't get a huge amount of the wood and patchouli. But what I'll say about this as well is that the body spray of Born Lovely is also really good. I've got that too. That's also one I break out. That is exactly the same scent as this, but maybe slightly less of the wood and patchouli. So slightly less heavy in the base notes. So it's even more watery. I used to wear it, that's like a holiday perfume for me, like to put on like if I'm swimming and doing that kind of thing. I just think this is such a good high heat perfume. So this is Sarah Jessica Parker's Born Lovely, an absolute banger. I had to put another Aqua Colonia in, even though, I've said you can wear any of them pretty much. This is the one that I wear when it is so hot I can barely think and I just need to smell clean. I've got a couple of things here that are my absolute, I can almost not bear to wear perfumes, if you see what I mean. So this is one of those, and this is Aqua Colonia, lychee and white mint. Now there's definitely a slightly toothpastey smell to this from the mint because it's sweetened by that lychee, but I think it's fantastic if you're so hot that you can barely even think, because it's so refreshing. This is like, it's almost like opening a fridge door, you know. The mint in it is really cooling. It's not so sort of sharp that it's going to bother you. It's got a sweetness, but it's not sickly. It's very watery, very fresh. It genuinely smells like you've been keeping it in the fridge whenever you smell it. It's very cooling. My husband likes this one as well. This is one that I think either of us would happily spritz on when the weather gets totally crazy hot. So in London, if this summer we have a heat wave that gets up to like, 40 degrees, which we occasionally have had that, then this guy is going to be broken out for sure. So that's 4711, Aqua Colonia, Lychee and White Mint. So we have something a bit more pricey here. Now this is a special that I think comes out at summertime from Diptyque. Oh, that's a pretty one. So this is Ilio from Diptyque. I actually have the hair mist of this just because I always get my Diptyques on eBay, and this was only, I think this was like £30, whereas obviously it's considerably more expensive to get them new. So this is the hair mist of Ilio. So Ilio is a very pretty, slightly powdery summer iris perfume. So it's prickly pear and iris. The notes that they give you are prickly pear, iris, jasmine and bergamot. So it is definitely fruity and fresh, but then it has this kind of powdery purple floral going on as well. Okay, I'm just going to read you though the description from Diptyque that they've got, because it talks about other things and I don't know whether these notes are actually included, but it smells like it's a little bit more complex than just those 4 notes it's listed. So it says, from the prickly pears clustering along a narrow cove to the lavender and lemongrass on a terrace at sunset, to smell their scents is to be swept away to a far off place. A warm breeze blows through the barberry figs. This is Ilio. Like summer condensed, it carries the scent of Mediterranean trees far beyond the native landscapes, drenched in sun with a sea view. So I wouldn't be at all surprised that there's fig in this, because I can totally see that. I wouldn't necessarily think of lemongrass, but I can totally see that there might be fig in this one. I think it's really soft, it's really pretty. I can totally imagine there's lavender adding to that powdery purpleness as well. It's but predominantly I think you could say prickly pear and iris, maybe with a little bit of a herbalness, a little bit of a citrus, and maybe a little bit of that figgy kind of smell. It's super pretty. It's really soft. I think it's a beautiful summer perfume, but I mean, even more so because I have the hair mist, like it's just like so light. It's probably like lighter than eau de cologne. It's just like spray it on, enjoy it. It'll be there for a little bit. If I manage to get my hands on an actual perfume version of this, I'll be very happy, because you can get an eau de toilette in summer. So I'll be keeping my eye out on eBay to see whether I can snag an eau de toilette for considerably less than the actual selling price. But this is Diptyque Ilio, and it's a super pretty summer perfume. I will talk about this up until my last breath. I've got a few bottles of this. Oh my goodness, so beautiful. Green Tea by Elizabeth Arden. There is never any weather I can't wear this in. It lasts longer in colder weather, to be honest. It stays a little bit more. It's got a little bit of a bigger scent bubble in colder weather, but it is so perfect for hot weather. When I had my overwhelming day recently, when the flat was like 28 degrees, 27 or 28, I had a friend over, so there were 3 of us in our living room. We were having dinner and we were chatting, and it just got so hot. This is the perfume that I was wearing. This perfume is absolutely brilliant. It makes me feel like I'm in a fancy spa. It's so beautiful. It's a Francis Kirk de Jean classic from way before he was like, MFK. So we've got lemon, bergamot, mint, orange and rhubarb in the top. We've got jasmine, oak moss, musk, fennel, carnation and white amber in the mid. We've got green tea, jasmine, oak moss, musk, celery seeds, caraway seeds and cloves and amber in the base. There's so much going on, but it just smells like a lightly sweet, citrusy, herbaceous, musky tea scent that genuinely smells like the fanciest spa you're ever going to go to. It is a classic for a reason. People love it for a reason, and it's good all year, but in hot weather it's one of the most refreshing perfumes you can own. So it's Elizabeth Arden Green Tea, the original. Sticking with the green perfumes, this is a real cheapie. You can get this for about a fiver. You can get 200ml bottles of this as well for like under £10. This is for people who like a green scent, you know. This is Chanson d'Eau from Coty. So, you know it's Coty because I think it says it. Does it say it under here? I know it's owned by Coty, but this is the original Chanson d'Eau, the green Chanson d'Eau. And it's just, when you first spray it, it smells literally like grass. I think I said when I was first talking about this, and I stick by it, if you can imagine a lime sorbet with grass sprinkled on top of it, that's kind of what it smells like when you first spray it. Then as it dries down, you get a little bit of the florals coming through. It gets a bit more musky, you get more sweetness. And then it turns into this kind of slightly laundry-ish, clean, bright, fruity floral. Like, it's just a really excellent summer perfume, and it is very beloved in, I think, in the hotter countries over in Europe, like Spain and Portugal. I think it's really popular over there. So the notes for this are mint, basil, mandarin, lemon, bergamot, orange, lavender and hyacinth in the top, a lot. The middle notes are jasmine, ylang ylang, lily of the valley, mango, pineapple, green, cardamom, and I can definitely smell a bit of that cardamom. Base notes are iris, sandalwood, bamboo, musk and tonka bean. It's wonderful, and it moves through those stages in such an interesting way. Like, it's got all those green notes and lavender in the top that makes it smell weirdly grassy, but then it's got all the citrusy that makes it smell a bit like lime. And then in the mid you've got the sweet pineapple and mango, so you get that tanginess, but then you've got all of those you've got the flowers that give it like a slight clean soapiness, and then the cardamom gives it this kind of almost warm spicy, because it starts off quite cold and citrusy, but then it definitely gets a bit warmer. Oh, yeah, because you've got that musk and sandalwood and tonka bean in the base. It's so pretty. I wore this the other day when I was very, very hot, and it's just so refreshing and fabulous. An absolute classic banger for really hot weather. So that's Coty Chanson d'Eau. All right, we've got... This one is amazing. So I was considering whether I should mention this because I thought it was discontinued. This is clean, fresh laundry and lavender, Eau Fraiche. So this is a 175ml bottle, so it's massive, and I made that dent myself. That is from using it on my sheets and my body and my clothes in hot weather. This is the one that I literally took this whole massive bottle with me to work when we got up to 40 degrees last year, because when it's 40 degrees outside in the UK, it is way hotter than that on the tube. So if I have to go into work and I have to get the tube, I want to smell like fresh laundry, watery, wet, fresh laundry, and I want to respray it every 5 seconds. So Eau Fraiche is a perfect one for that. Now, I did look this up and I can't find the Eau Fraiche anymore, but I think Clean have just re-released this scent, but as an eau de toilette formulation. I just saw it online when I was searching. There's a couple of places that had it. So I'm very happy that people will be able to get this, because I love the Clean perfume called Simply Clean, but that's quite sweet compared to this. But that's like a lavender laundry smell, you know. This one is a wet laundry smell and it's nowhere near as sweet, so it's much better for super high heat. I fully intend to get that eau de toilette, to be honest, because that's the one I'll take to work. But I love this. I've genuinely used this much of it. It is such a good perfume for really hot weather. The notes are fruity notes and pineapple in the top, middle notes of lavender, green grass, orchid, night blooming jasmine and star anise, base notes musk, tonka bean, amber, precious woods and patchouli. But I mean, does it actually smell like any of those? Not sure. This smells like my clothes when I've washed them with a lavender detergent and I'm taking them out of the washing machine and they're still wet. That's what this smells like. I love it. It's so good for a bedtime perfume in hot weather, and it's so good to spray on your sheets as well. I love this one. I'm so glad I've got this massive bottle. Oh, it's amazing. Perfect for really high heat. So again, now we have one that's a little bit more expensive, but I think is so feminine and pretty and is so perfect for hot weather. Yeah, it's very light, it's delicate, it's just super pretty. So this is Toka Simone. This is a, mainly it's a green apple, watermelon and freesia perfume, I think is how I'd describe this. Such a beautiful, heavy, massive bottle. This is just a 50ml, which is why you can see we've got the thick bit here. But I've worn this during really hot weather recently because this is quite a new one in my collection. It's got this lovely kind of pale, kind of nude coloured liquid in it. I just wanted to wear this for days in a row. I only wore it for one day because it's quite an expensive perfume. I got it half price, so I think this was about £40. But it's so pretty and it's really delicate, but it gets this kind of bar soapy, yummy smell when it dries down. So the notes in here are watermelon, apple and lemon. Middle notes are freesia, frangipani, rose and ylang ylang. Base notes musk, woody notes and amber. So you've got that crisp green apple. You've got a really watery, like slightly aquatic smelling watermelon, really pretty, gently sweet. A hint of lemon, but this is not at all sharp. It doesn't go screechy or shampooey. So this is my choice over everyone else chooses L'Impératrice by D&G. I think that's really screechy and sharp and way too shampooey. Not a perfume I can get on with. This is my light watermelon of choice, if you see what I mean. But it has the florals through the middle, so it just smells feminine and pretty and light. And the musk gives it like a kind of soapy base without going sharp. It's not like detergenty soapy. It actually genuinely makes me think of like a much more aquatic version. If you imagine like an aquatic version of Lanvin's Modern Princess, but take out the red apple from that and instead add in a slight green apple and watermelon notes instead. It gives me that kind of feel to wear it, and I adore that perfume, so I'm not surprised I adore this one too. So yeah, very happy with that. It's a really beautiful perfume for this kind of weather. That is Toka's Simone. The next one is actually a dupe of quite a famous perfume, but it's one that I got because I wanted to see if this version was any good, and it's absolutely great. So I just stuck with this because the real one doesn't have much lasting power either. So this is La Rive Wave of Love, and this is a dupe of Lanvin's Eclat d'Arpège. Same coloured liquid, as you can see. Such a cool colour. So Wave of Love and of course Eclat d'Arpège are both kind of... They're in that Dolce & Gabbana light blue general profile, you know, they're in that same wheelhouse. But this one I find a little bit more feminine. I think it's prettier. It's not quite as woody. So it's not sharp, like it's much softer. And it's still aquatic, but it's got a tiny powderiness to it because it's a purple floral. So what I'll say about this one, I don't really like this in colder weather. I only like it in warm weather. But when I like it in warm weather, I love it. And I think that is because the sweetness and the kind of gentleness comes out more in warm weather. And in cold weather, I get much more of the kind of sharper notes, you know. So Wave of Love is lilac, lemon and black elder in the top. It's tea, wisteria, peony, osmanthus and peach in the mid. And then the base is musk, amber and cedar. You definitely get a bit of that cedar. You definitely get the musk. Maybe the amber is giving it a sweetness and a little bit more powderiness. But I get the lilac and wisteria with the tea. Oh my goodness. It's just such a pretty perfume for hot weather. It's so easy to spray. It doesn't really last very long, but it is refreshing. I did actually wear this one again recently when it was hot. It's got a crispness, it's got a wateriness from that tea. It's so soothing. It's another one that gives a slight spa-like vibe, you know? So it's another one that I think is perfect for hot weather. So that's Le Rive Wave of Love, aka Eclat d'Arpège from Lanvin. And last, but definitely not least, because this was a signature of mine, I'm actually wearing this one today, which is what spurred me to do this video. So, oh my goodness, I just can't get enough of it. This is Jean Arthur's Boom Green Tea and Cherry Blossom. So I was feeling really weird about putting this one in just because I thought it had been discontinued. I do think maybe it is discontinued. But when I looked this up recently, I saw that you could get it on a few sites again. I just saw this on Notino and I saw it on, I think, is it called Perfume Click maybe? I can't remember what they're actually called. But this is definitely worth a Google if you're interested. If you can't find this one, then go for Elizabeth Arden Green Tea Pomegranate. That is the closest thing to Boom Green Tea and Cherry Blossom. This is my all year round easy reach. Like I can wear this anytime, but it's really excellent in hot weather because it's so aquatic, juicy, fruity. It's got a tiny bit of these beautiful florals and it's just heavenly. I love this perfume. If you like fruity perfumes and you like tea perfumes, this is going to really be up your street because it's not too sweet, but it's not too sharp. It's an absolute perfect balance. I'd say the green tea pomegranate from Elizabeth Arden is a bit sharper and more shampoo-y, which is why this is much more my type of perfume. So this is top notes of tea, lemon and pear, middle notes of cherry blossom, blackcurrant, rose, and base notes of peach and musk. So you definitely get the tea, you definitely get the lemon, you can smell a really juicy pear, you can smell a really juicy blackcurrant. The peach here is watery and transparent and it's not too sickly sweet, it's not kind of syrupy. You definitely get a very gentle rose and you get a very gentle cherry blossom, and then you've got that beautiful musk in the base. It is infinitely wearable. It smells amazing all year round. It weirdly, again, it lasts a little bit longer in colder weather. I wore this at Christmas because I have a little miniature at my mum and dad's, and I was really surprised at the longevity of it when I was wearing it in cold weather. But this is such a pick-me-up. It's another one like a Lush Sun. It smells happy. It smells girly. This one's quite feminine. It's just magical. So yeah, I'm ending with what was definitely a signature scent for me for a while, which is why I have a few backups of this and I've got a decent dent in it. I love it. I had loads of bottles on the go at the same time as well back in the day. So this is Jean Arthur's Boom Green Tea and Cherry Blossom, and it is a fitting way to end my hot heat perfumes because this is one of my absolute all-time favourites. So yeah, I hope you guys found this helpful. Let me know if you've got any of these and let me know down below what your favourite hot heat summer perfumes are, and I hope you all have a beautiful and wonderful summer. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.